All right, everyone. I'm here with OGR-Scintilla. How are you doing today, bud?
I'm great. I got a big smoothie thing full of smoothie, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome, making me jealous already. That looks tasty.
Yeah, it's one of the perks of when I'm working on music or whatever in the morning. I just make myself a giant tub of smoothie and drink it all morning. It's nice.
That sounds delicious.
Thanks.
All right, so if you don't mind me asking, I'll start you in the interview with an easy question. How did you start your career?
I started, well, I guess I started music when I was super young. When I was like 12, I learned guitar, and I just really loved writing songs. So I've always been a songwriter and enjoyed telling different stories and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And then I just decided I wanted to see if I could do it for a career. When I graduated from university, through university, I kind of made some songs with friends and learned more about producing and things like that. But I guess it would have been 2018. I really just spent all my time on music, um, sort of trying to figure out how you do it, how you get anybody to care about your songs.
Mhm.
And I tried to do a lot of covers. I tried releasing my own music. I tried all sorts of advertisements on Facebook and things like that. And I kind of was a little bit successful, but not really successful until TikTok rolled around.
Mhm.
And I started just experimenting with lots of short videos and seeing what would get people's attention. And
Right.
I ended up going with funny because I've always enjoyed laughing and joking. And I decided, oh, it'd be funny if it was so snowy and cold outside. It'd be funny if I went outside and just like sat shirtless in a snowbank and sang a song about being from Canada. And it got a whole bunch of views. And I thought, whoa, that's cool. I'm going to do another one of those. And then they kept getting views. And then I had one that hit 1 million views, like fairly quick after trying it. And I thought, this is so much crazier than anything I've ever done. I'm going to keep doing this. And it
Right.
sort of turned into its own brand and shtick from there. And now I release all kinds of music, but mainly the Canadian songs that
Mhm.
people really, really love. And yeah, I just wanted to be a songwriter. So I ended up using trial and error to figure out what people were interested in and what people enjoyed.
That makes sense. And if I'm going to quote you, I believe that in my eyes, you're the greatest rapper in Canada,
Yeah, that was pretty close to when I was starting. I was thinking because I didn't want to just make Canadian songs,
eh? Mhm.
but I knew that they were really successful and people loved them. And I thought, what's a tagline that works for both? Where I can, it sort of shows you that I'm making these songs about Canada, but then also if I release a song that isn't about Canada, it doesn't, it's not like, whoa, where is this coming from? So I just put that in my description or whatever on my social medias. I'm on a journey to become the greatest rapper in Canada. And yeah, I don't know. I just kind of came up with it and it's stuck and it's really catchy. So people remember it.
Yeah, that's true. That's really good marketing on your part, because when people ask me who I think the greatest rapper in Canada is, I don't say Drake. I say OGR Scintilla.
Yeah. That was one of those other things that I did just because it's fun to throw little things into your videos to try to get more comments and then that gets you more views. It's
Mhm.
kind of like a fun game to me at this point. And it seems like dogging on Drake is a good thing for that because I don't know, people are either pretty passionate fans of Drake or don't really like him. It seems like lots of people are just kind of like, Drake. But there's lots of people who love him and hate him. So if you're just like, oh, I'm so much better than Drake, then people are like, no, man, you're not better than Drake. Or some people are like, yeah, Drake sucks. You're the greatest rapper in Canada. So it's really fun to just like get the people going like that.
Awesome. And are you the only one in your family that has a musical background?
Um, well, my grandpa played trumpet in a band for a long time. And all the rest of my family really loves music and loves to sing. Like my dad's a great singer and my brother's a great singer, and my mom played piano, but none of them do music for a
Mhm.
career or really seriously. They just enjoy listening and singing, and just like a regular person would. They're not music producers or anything like that.
Okay, gotcha. Um, why did you decide to take your musical career professionally or even semi-professionally instead of just a hobby? Like, what turned that final switch that made you go out full send?
What made me go full send?
Mhm.
I would say ever since I started music, I always had this itch in the back of my brain that I just really liked it. And I slowly sort of developed some skills over that time when I was first starting music and through college and high school. And I think I just sort of got struck with that now or never kind of feeling. It's not like I just boom went for it all at once, because I'd been sort of building up my courage for 10 years from when I was 12 to when I finished college to sort of feel like, okay, maybe I'm a good enough musician to actually do this, because I'd just sort of been totally self-taught. And then in my last year of college, actually, I was a volleyball player, and I had played for like the university volleyball team. And in my last year, I decided to not play and just spend all my free time producing for other local rappers and myself while I was going to school. So that was kind of
Right.
my halfway commitment. I wasn't fully professional, but I sort of set aside my other big hobby to make this a big thing that I put all my time into. And that was sort of the in between step. And then, yeah, when I was done, I I just didn't want to do any other job. I don't know exactly if there was like a big moment where I knew that I would try to be a professional musician. It was just sort of, I've always loved music with all my heart, and it felt like I have a hard time doing things when they bore me, and it felt like any other job was going to just be boring to me. And I like a challenge too. So putting myself in a position where everybody says like, oh, only one in a million make it or whatever, and just like, oh, most people, they try to be a musician and it doesn't work out for them. For me, that was kind of the perfect situation to be in, because I needed that level of motivation to
Mhm.
go, oh, I have to be the best if I want to succeed. I have to be the greatest rapper in Canada if I want to succeed. And yeah, it was just sort of in line with what who I am, I guess. I like a challenge. I like a job where you have to do all sorts of things. Uh, I've always had a hard time picking one thing. So with music, it's like the promotion and the videos and also the music and songwriting, and there's like a thousand different things you have to be good at to be a
Right.
musician. So yeah, I think it was just a match for me. And yeah, I don't know what gave me the bravery to go for it, but I'm glad that I had that sort of I'm going for it moment.
Awesome. And would you say that if you didn't do music, you could be the greatest athlete in Canada?
I was a good athlete. I'm 6'6",
Oh,
which
wow.
helps a lot. I say that to people a lot, where if I was, say, 6 feet tall, I probably would have been just an okay athlete. But because I'm so tall, I just had a massive advantage. I think I'm a little bit too soft-hearted, honestly, to be the greatest athlete in Canada. I I think that the people who were really, really good at the level I played at were the people who were just a little bit insane.
Mhm.
I don't know if you hear stories about Kobe and Michael Jordan and that, but people who know them, like, yeah, they were nice people, but they were absolutely nuts.
Oh,
They
yeah.
sort of get out on the court and they would just sort of do whatever it took to win. And for me, sports was more, I really loved practice. I really loved making friends. I really loved physical activity to stay healthy. I wasn't so much that cut your throat to win type. So I was a great athlete, but I wasn't the greatest athlete in Canada. I was too nice. Which is, I'm just laughing because it works into my whole Canadian like too polite type of stereotype thing.
At least we know you're a true Canadian because you are too polite.
People throw that term around a lot, and
Oh yeah.
sometimes um, I want to make sure that everybody knows that there's no wrong way to be Canadian. That's the great thing about Canada is that everybody's welcome, and
Right.
yeah, it's because sometimes people get, I don't know, people get caught up on silly things, and I know that's not what you're doing. You're just making a joke, but sometimes people are like, oh, he's not a true Canadian. He's got a, I don't know, whatever brand of jacket on. That's an American brand. And I'm just like, that's a silly thing to be caught up on. But such is the internet, such is the comment section of the internet. It's a wild,
Hmm.
crazy place.
That's true. So,
Hmm.
what would you describe your genre to be if you could describe it?
Hmm. Well, most of the Canadian stuff, I would just call it comedy or parody. But when I make other music, it ends up all sorts of genres. And I honestly, I wouldn't mind your feedback here because when I was traveling in Europe, just this past month, I took a vacation for the first time since high school, and I, when I would meet somebody and I would tell them that I make music, they'd say, or they'd ask, "Who do you sound like?" or "What type of music do you make?" And it's kind of hip hop, it's kind of pop, it's kind of like alternative rock. I guess it's sort of like R&B-ish too. There's a lot of genres getting blended into it, and I really have no idea how to describe sort of the music that I make.
Hmm.
Um, the music I release under the name Shane William Kimber
Hmm.
is sort of whatever I feel like making, I guess.
Right.
And my OGR-Scintilla music, I'd probably call it pop because it seems like rap and pop are sort of one thing now.
Hmm.
Pop is sort of the main genre, and pop is borrowing so much from hip hop. Lots of times people rap in the pop songs, and there's these big bass drums and like ticky hi hats and 808 snares and stuff. And yeah, it seems like those two genres are sort of blending together to just be whatever. And lots of genres are blending right now. So I make parody music, and then I make genre genre I don't know, undefined music. But I hate to be that person who's like, you can't define my music with a genre because then it sounds like I'm like trying to be Kanye or something.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'd say if you like weird stuff like Frank Ocean or Childish Gambino or Tyler the Creator, then and that's not that weird, but just stuff that's a little bit different, then my music's worth checking out. Or
Okay,
like the newer
makes sense.
Mac stuff, whatever. Yeah.
And do you have any passions besides music that you enjoy?
Um, just a minute, I'll get him. He's groaning at me because he was looking out the window peacefully. This is my friend Tabco. He
Hi.
is. I love Tabco. He's like my best friend. Um, are you gonna say hello to the people at home? No, he's gonna run away. um, yeah, I've got a cat. I love animals. I love nature. Whenever I can go outside, I like camping, going to the lake, hiking, things like that. Um, I really like health and wellness type stuff. I
Right.
studied kinesiology in university, so human body and fitness and stuff. And whenever I get a chance to, like, we have shinny tonight in town. Me and my friends are going to play some hockey, and there's curling bonspiels in the small town close to where I'm from. And whenever I can go do something active with my friends, that's really, really something I enjoy. I also really like Pokemon. I don't play so much anymore, but I keep up on competitive Pokemon. because I'm a massive nerd. And I just love, there's a thing called Pokemon Showdown online where you can battle other people online with Pokemon. And whenever I have a few minutes, I'll pull it up on my phone and you can just battle against strangers with a Pokemon team. You just build it on your phone and battle. And that's super fun. That's probably the nerdiest thing I do. Um, and I guess I live on the farm here. So just taking care of cows, taking care of the farm is, I really love that as well. I I really like to sleep. So whenever I get time to sleep, and I really love food, so I do spend a lot of time cooking just because same with the health thing, it's just sort of I feel like if I'm spending most of the day like looking after myself and like being healthy, it just makes it improves my mood so much that it's worth the time and effort to eat right and do a little bit of exercise and stuff like that. That's huge for me.
Okay.
Trying to think of anything else. That's mainly it. Um, yeah, I don't really play many video games. I watch like YouTube videos and I watch a lot of online content too, just because it's kind of my business. So I like to keep up with the trends and things like that.
Right. That makes sense.
Mhm.
So, do you write your own songs?
Yeah, I
And
well, sometimes I draw inspiration from other people's songs, but I fully write all my own songs. Yeah, I love it.
right. And do you have a process when you write your songs, or does it just kind of like, hey, I should just make a parody song for this, and then this could be fun, and let's try it, or how do you go about that?
Well, lots of times I'm sure this is frustrating to anybody who's looking for songwriting advice, but stuff just pop into my head a lot of the time, especially with my own completely original songs. It's just boom, there's a melody, and I think lots of people have that. The trick is that when you get it, you just have to use it right away because you get an idea. And I think most musicians can relate to having the greatest idea of their life and then forgetting it with like 5 minutes later and never being able to remember it again. So I've just gotten really good at using the notes on my phone and my
Mhm.
voice memo on my phone. And I have thousands and thousands of notes in my phone. It's just, if you think it, write it down and it sort of gets the juices flowing. When it comes to the parody songs, I like to take all of the lyrics of the original and just paste them into a note. And then I like to sort of think of a general direction. Like, say, Tim's Run is all about Tim Hortons.
Mhm.
Or when I did Canadian Paradise, like the Gangster's Paradise remix that I recently put out, I decided, okay, I want this one to be about the cold
Mhm.
specifically, so that I can sort of build structures and stories around that. Um, if you write you don't have to write the chorus first, but a chorus is really important to me because if you write the verses so that they work with the chorus, it to me gives a sense of continuity. It sort of creates a red thread through the song where the verse is like a story and then the chorus is sort of the climax of the story in a sense. I
Mhm.
don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you can, like in Party in Canada, the second verse is really nice. I think that a lot of people have been gravitating towards it because it's very narrative. Uh, Get to the rink, taping up my stick. Everybody's looking at me now. Like, who's that kid with the sheerwood twig? This clown can't go bar down. These dustpans haven't seen me play hockey. I hit the ice and I rip it bar down ski. They can see I'm a beauty, even the refs into me. On the bench with my coach eating poutine. All of the cuties in the stands are into me. I hear the other team chirping, and you can bet the gloves were off. But thought that he was tough until I lit him up. And it sort of like builds back into the like, so I put my boots on the snow on the lawn. It's not like a perfect story to the chorus, but
Yeah.
that whole verse is a story about being at the rink and just things you would see at a hockey rink, basically.
Okay,
So I
that
think
makes sense.
I know a lot of writers, especially if they're writing just a love song, it seems like every two lines could just sort of, they don't really connect to each other. It's like, I love you, I miss you, I hate you, I want to be with you. You know, they're all sort of their own idea every few
Yeah.
lines, as opposed to one narrative that flows through. And I think that's just because I listened to a lot of country music growing up, and there's a lot of sort of stories in old timey country music, and
Yeah.
even a lot of hip hop music. Like Eminem would do that in songs where he would just sort of be telling a story throughout the whole song on something like a song like Stan.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the song Stand by Eminem, but it's like insanely good song, insanely well written. Just tells this story through the whole song, and it just makes you really listen. And I like that a lot when I write, to sort of create little pockets of story throughout, as opposed to just like, oh, we in the club, we in the club, we in the club, or something like that. Then no disrespect to people who write like that, but I just prefer to write stories more.
Right. Makes sense.
Mhm.
And do you ever suffer from writer's block?
I have, but I feel like it's normally, I, I get inspiration fairly easily. So if I am suffering from block, I know that it's because I've just been trying to make music for too long. And that's one thing that I think can be really hard as a musician, is to shut off your computer and go outside and
Right.
touch grass, as the kids would say. And it doesn't take much, like just a weekend with my friends, or even seeing some family or whatever, will always key some sort of new experience. I had a song that I wrote called Coast that I really like. It's one of my favorite songs. And it was just inspired by doing the dishes. I was doing the dishes, and I had the line come into my head. Um, Life can be a bitch, that's the way that it goes. But my life is a dish, I've been letting it soak. Because there was this dish that was just grimy, and I wanted to let it soak because I didn't want to scrub it. But then I thought, that's kind of a nice metaphor for life, where sometimes instead of tackling the problem, you're just like, I'm gonna just leave those dirty dishes in the sink. I'm just gonna let them soak. And
Mhm.
then you come back, the water's cold and it's disgusting, and you don't want to do them then either. So I was just like, let's scrub this dish. And then I thought, this is kind of like a metaphor for life, where you should get off your butt and go live. So I kind of have that way of just getting inspiration everywhere, and that's probably just because I write every day,
Mhm.
and I've trained my brain to look at the world in that way, where it really doesn't take much to get an idea going in my head. And like I said, just when you get those juices flowing, it takes a long time, but eventually you just look at the world as a songwriter, and just little beautiful moments, or whatever little frustrating thing happened to you, can get you one line, and that one line is all you need to keep going and write a song sometimes.
Right. And I don't know if it's
Mm.
gonna be the same answer, but do you have a favorite song you wrote or sung, like per each persona, or is there an overall one?
I will definitely give both, but my favorite, I have two. It's a tough question, and I get it a lot, and my answer always changes. But I'm just pulling up myself. Um, Shane William Kimber is the name where I release my non-parody music,
Mhm.
and I have a song called. I'll give two songs. One called Rock Bottom, and one called Saved, off of this 35 song album I just released called The Big Black Door. I I put out that many songs because I have 10 times that many songs still on my computer, and I just thought, this is insane. I need to quit being such a perfectionist and just drop all this music. So the night before I left to Europe, February 1st, I just uploaded it all to DistroKid, and some of them have some blank verses, or the mixes aren't just right, or the vocals aren't just right, but I really love them. And Rock Bottom and Saved are very much slower and really about the lyrics, and I really love that. Right now, I'm honestly kind of obsessed with Party in Canada because it's doing so well, like my OGR Scintilla stuff. Party in Canada is doing great right now. It's getting like Party in Canada is getting more streams now than any song I've ever had has
Hmm.
been getting. It doesn't have the most streams of any song. Tim's Run has the most streams because it's been around for so long. But I just there's something about Party in Canada that's so goofy and stupid and doesn't take itself too seriously that I really love. Because I like writing serious songs, but I also feel like just silliness is a great thing. Like sometimes the world doesn't have enough serious or a silliness, has too much seriousness. So I like it. I like the fact that it's just goofy and fun.
That makes sense. Um, so did you have a fallback? You mentioned that you went to school and all that. Did you have a fallback option if your music career didn't go the way you planned?
Yeah, I did. I was considering becoming a physiotherapist, and I think I would have really enjoyed it.
Hmm.
I also considered being a teacher because people have always thought I should be a teacher. I did a lot of coaching and I taught swimming lessons because I was a lifeguard when I was younger, and I just sort of had a good way of communicating with younger people and conveying information in a way where people are always like, you tell me things without making me feel stupid, which is really nice. I know kids appreciate that. Sometimes teachers are just like, do your homework, and I I was just had a little bit more respect, I guess.
Hmm.
So I probably would have been a teacher or a physiotherapist. Now that I'm a little bit older, I do really love the farm too. So maybe I'll be a good old farmer. I'll probably still be a farmer either way because I just having the farm here is dope. If there's anybody out there that grew up on a farm, they probably know how special it is to just sort of have a big open space where you can do whatever you want and not have to feel boxed in by the city. It's a nice feeling. So I did have fallback plans. Some artists, I feel like every artist is sort of lying when they do the whole like if I didn't do music, I'd be like homeless on the street. I'd have nothing. And sometimes I think I mean, some people probably that's genuinely true, but I think it's sort of a overplayed cliche a little bit. It's like you would have been homeless for a while, but then you would have been like, okay, I guess I'm not that good at music, and you would have gotten a job.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm happy that music is working. It's still not. I'm still not like the greatest rapper in Canada. I'm still not super big money off of my music yet, but I really love what I do, so I'm happy I get to keep going with it.
Right. And when was the last time you performed?
The last time I performed would have been this past fall. I did a performance at a high school on their first day back. There's actually on my YouTube some really cool footage from that show.
Hmm.
It's my hometown, so a lot of people, a lot of the young kids know who I am and they really love my music. So they went pretty berserk. It was really cool. I I was going to try to do some other school shows, but then I ended up feeling like it was taking away too much from my time to make content,
Hmm.
which is what I really love doing. I love performing, but I really like just sitting here writing songs.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just what I love. So I decided I'm going to prioritize, make sure that I'm sort of putting the right motivators for like prioritizing the right motivators is what I'm trying to say,
Hmm.
so that I don't end up in a place where I'm traveling all over performing these songs and I sort of get burnt out. I feel like burnout is the number one enemy of artists. You like if you just keep rolling, you're going to succeed eventually, but you have to make sure you don't overwork yourself or lose sight of what you love. So, yeah.
Right.
I'll probably perform again a bit this summer.
Okay, makes sense. Um, do you have a dream place or anything like that that you want to perform at in the future?
I think that I would really love to do a proper tour. I would really enjoy if I could go to all sorts of little towns in Canada, and even if it's just small bars, perform for groups of people who really know my music and are really excited to see me.
Hmm.
I I would love to one day perform at some big stadium, but more than anything, I would love to. Most artists talk about how their first tour or first few tours are really just the fans who really know them and really love them, the people who come out. It's because they know every song, and you get to meet these fans after the shows. To me, that would be sort of that's my goal right now. That's my dream is to just have a really awesome, successful small tour through Canada and maybe a part of the US. And then
Right.
whatever happens after that would be a bonus.
That makes sense. So are there any upcoming plans in your music career?
Um, my plans right now are to try to get a bunch of videos done before calving season starts so
Right.
that once the cows start calving, I can help my dad and my uncle. They're both getting a little older, so they need my help. I have basically what I plan to do is I write songs like like a son of a gun. I could easily be dropping like a song a week. But what I want to do is maybe find like a video editor, someone to take the stress off so that I don't have to be so focused on making videos and then just drop a crap load of music. So
Right.
if you like listening to music, I think that's like I just hope that those types of people are excited that just want new songs all the time because that's what I love. I I love writing songs and I'm trying to overcome my perfectionism. So I'm not going to be working on them for 6 months. I'm going to work on them for a couple weeks and then I'm going to get it out and then I'm going to start working on the next one. So
Right.
lots of music and yeah, lots of music and just chilling. I don't know. I've been in a really good mood lately. I've just sort of been very at peace. I feel like I'm at the point with music where I have a lot of room to grow, but I'm also just like, chill out, man. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy each day. Drink a smoothie. Like, just relax. Everything's gonna be okay. I don't have I don't have any big projects on the horizon, but definitely go check out the Big Black Door. That's really new. I haven't even really promoted it yet because I dropped it right when I left for Europe. That's a ton of new music, and I should have some new Canadian remixes coming as well. Uh,
Awesome.
with it here.
Awesome. And if you don't mind, we're going to switch the convo a little bit and talk, ask some questions about you to get to know you a little more, if you're okay with that.
Awesome.
Awesome. What's your favorite color?
Teal. Like there's this perfect color in between blue and green. That's a lightish blue green. That just says like, oh baby. It's a nice color.
That's a good color. What is your most prized possession?
If you count Tabco as a possession, then definitely Tabco. But if not, then I guess I'm really proud of this microphone, AKG 2414 condenser microphone. It sounds really, really good, and it's been used on. It's sort of like one of those secret microphones that's been used on a lot of hit records, but it's actually like reasonably priced. So I really love that microphone. And also, I know my one prized possession, my PRS guitar over there. I spent way too much money on it, but it's like the probably one and only nice guitar I'll have. So um, probably not one and only. I'll buy more guitars when I'm older, but that's like the first nice guitar I ever bought. So definitely that.
Okay, cool. What is your favorite holiday?
I gotta go Christmas. I know it's super vanilla, but my family just goes hard for Christmas. We take it seriously. We have lots of traditions, so yeah, Christmas is always amazing.
Okay, and is there anything you wish more people knew about you?
I wish more people. It's not. I feel like I have a lot of range, so I'm really goofy and silly and funny, but also I like to just break it down with philosophy and talk about like Buddhism and the meaning of life and all of these like big crazy ideas. So I like it when people can appreciate both sides
Okay,
and everything between.
that makes sense. What's one thing you wish you could do in your music career that you haven't done yet?
I wish I could release a song that just really explodes, but the type of song that, like, I've had funny songs explode, but I want one of those songs that just really inspires and motivates people to pop off. That would really make me happy if I could have people sending me that message of this song really helped me through a hard time. I do get that because people are like, oh, your content cheers me up and brightens my day. But I want one of those sort of deeper, really sort of well written songs to really do something. That would be, that's gonna be the day where I just lay back and I'm like, I'm a success. Everything else is extra now.
Awesome. Well, I wish that for you as well.
Thank you.
Do you have any merchandise or anything like that for either personas?
I do. I'm a terrible musician. I should have been wearing it. I have these uh, hoodies that I should go grab one, but it has, I did all the design work myself. It's a maple leaf, and then it has Ryan Reynolds wearing a Mountie hat, and then it has like a moose and a goose popping out, and then a beaver with some poutine and a hockey stick in the background, and it says friggin' rights along the bottom.
Oh,
And
I'm just thinking back to that song, the
Ryan
moose,
Reynolds.
the moose and the goose.
Oh yeah, the moose. Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll send you like a picture of it and you can pop it up on the screen or something. But
Yeah, that sounds good.
cool.
We'll incorporate your merch because that sounds good. I might have to get some of that.
Yeah. Oh,
No. All right. We're kind of at the ending part here, anyways.
yeah.
So I had a couple more questions. Last but not least, is there anyone you'd like to shout out or promote?
Hmm. Myself. No.
Okay.
No, I was thinking earlier about when I was starting my music career and that whole part. I definitely want to shout out my parents because they're incredibly supportive.
Mhm.
My family in general, I have an amazing family, and I have really amazing friends too. So I think that just having people around who know that I'm trying to be a musician and trying to do all this stuff and just don't look at me like I'm an idiot. You know, it can be hard sometimes when people don't really understand. You know, my parents at times are like, all right, you're trying to be a musician, like whatever. They didn't understand it, but they were still very supportive. And I think now they're like, okay, Shane kind of knew what, well, he didn't know what he was doing, but he figured out what he was trying to do. And so my mom and dad and my brother and yeah, just the rest of my family, they're incredible. And without them, there's a much higher chance I would have quit, as
Okay.
well as my friends. I have friends, Greg, Curtis. Um, I'm trying to think of other people who I'm forgetting, but just like certain friends who were just very, very supportive of me and said, "Don't quit, Shane. You're really getting better. You're really good at this. Something's gonna happen," and it did. So I'm very thankful for those people.
Awesome. And I have another question before we kind of call it quits here. Um, where do you see yourself realistically in 10 years?
Realistically,
Hmm.
I I feel like I'm going to be even more of a reclusive hippie. I think I'm going to still be making music. I like to think that by that time, I will have had some really big moments and I'll have had my tour. I'll have had my, multiple tours. I'll have had my, that one big song that really boom. And even if it's not a global success, a song where people go, oh yeah, that song, I remember that one. Even if I'm just a one hit wonder, I don't care. And I think I'll have sort of had my fun, and I'll probably want to be somewhere with lots of nature and probably starting a family and still just making music every day. That seems like it would be really cool. And Tabco will still be alive and he'll be incredibly healthy, right? You have to be, you have to live 50 years, Tabco. He's looking at me. Yes, you're never allowed to die because I love you.
Awesome. And is there anything else you'd like to chat about with me or in general while you have the floor?
Hmm. I would like to say thank you because I really enjoyed the interview.
Thank you.
And
I also want to
I,
say thank you for letting me interview you because you were awesome and fun.
yeah, thanks. Um, do you have any good jokes?
Um, Not that I should probably say on here.
I feel the same way. The only one, the joke that I've been obsessed with is the sort of like recurring joke where it's like, what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs who is like sitting outside your door? Matt. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in a hot tub? Stew. There's like 20 more.
Yeah.
And it's just, my friend told me all of them one day and I was just crying laughing. Um, I don't know. I like just asking really random questions. So
That makes sense.
yeah. Um, I guess I would say lately I've been thinking a lot about this idea that there's no real separation. Like we call this a cup and we call me Shane and call this a phone, but it's all just one thing. This is getting sort of hippie and philosophical, but that idea's been really beautiful to me because traveling, seeing lots of people when I went to Europe last month, I feel like I just realized that a lot of my own personal little problems aren't so big. And I'd really encourage people to look at some of those ideas and maybe go like, wow, life's beautiful. Uh, the fact that I spilt my smoothie or that I got a B on my test instead of an A are really nothing to be too upset about because I don't know, life's too long and short at the same time to be upset all the time. So smile, kids. Life's really nice actually, and it's full of opportunities and really cool stuff to do. So go do cool stuff.
Awesome. Great words of inspiration. We gotta put quotation marks by it and platter that on a silver plate for everyone to read and listen
Do
to. I just want to say thank you again so much. It's super fun. I enjoyed it and thoroughly, especially since I'm still waking up.
Yeah, me too. Sorry I picked such an early time, but I've been working hard and hardly working around here, so I just wanted to I wanted to have a reason to get out of bed early and get moving.
Yeah, well, you gave me one.
Cool. Thank you so much as well, and you're welcome. We'll probably get to talk again in the future.
Awesome. If you're ever in Leduc or Edmonton area and you have a show or anything like that, let me know. I'd love to come support you.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. I will. Um, I I'll let you know for sure.
Awesome. And then you can send me your links and all that afterwards in email. And when I upload the video, it'll have all your links so people know where you are so they can follow you and check out all your stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I
All right.
really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.
Goodbye.
Bye.